Okay, thanks. The one watching. This is group to Ruwaka. With Kauch Amza, Talunga Primrose, Davis Senkoto, and Odong Jasper. So today we are going to take you through through serverless computing, blockchain, robotics, and quantum computing. It's me, Kauchi, starting. I'll just take you through serverless computing. I'll take you through serverless computing. Serverless computing is a cloud computing execution model in which the cloud provider runs the server and dynamically manages the allocation of the machine resources. The pricing in serverless computing is based on the actual amount of the resource consumed by an application. So rather than on the pre-purchased units of the capacity. In that, when you take your code to the serverless provider, that computing provider will give you, he will bless you according to the space he or she has given you. So serverless computing can simplify the process of deploying code into production, scaling, capacity, planning, and maintenance operation may be hidden from the developer or the operator. In serverless computing, you have what we call serverless code and can be used in conjunction with the code deployed in traditional styles such as microservices. Most but not all serverless vendors offer compute runtimes, also known as a function as a service, what we call service, function as a service in platforms, which execute the application logic but do not store data. We have faster platforms. They include we have Google, have Kubernetes, we have Fusion. There are many. Amazon has what we call the Amazon Web Services. There are many. In particular, we have the IBM Cloud in South Africa. We have Nautilus. This offers the solutions named as Ella, which turns an existing RDBMs such as Oracle. We know this. We have used them in database and other stuff. We have Firebase. Firebase, we normally use this when you're developing applications. These people who are used who use application, who develop application, normally use this Firebase because it's a new thing on the block. Serverless computing has advantages, and one of the advantages that the cost. Talking about the cost, serverless is cost effective than renting or purchasing a fixed quantity of servers and you place them somewhere at work, which generally involves significant periods of underutilization or idle time. We have elasticity versus scalability. When we're talking about these two things, say that a serverless architecture means that developers and operators don't need to spend time setting up and tuning auto-scaling policies and systems. So the cloud provider himself is responsible for scaling the capacity to the demand. We have productivity, in particular, with productivity, everything will work out to produce more, like that. Serverless computing also has disadvantages itself. One of it is the performance. And in this, when we're talking about the performance, we see that infrequently used serverless code may suffer from greater response latency. Latency, we know this is the speed, the time it uses, than the code that is continuously running on a dedicated server or virtual machine. Resource limits, when we talk about resource limits, we see that serverless computing is not suited to some computing workloads, e.g. high performance computing. Because of the resource limits imposed by the cloud providers, they give you less space and you have to work in that space. Monitoring and debugging, the organizing performance or excessive resource usage problem with serverless code may be more difficult than the traditional server code, though the entire function can be, although the entire function can be time, there is typically no ability to dig into that deeper, the detail. We talk about security. Security solutions customers used to have in the past to protect their cloud loads become irrelevant as customers cannot control and install anything on the endpoint. And the network level, talking about privacy as a disadvantage too. Many serverless function environments are based on priority public cloud environments. Here, some privacy implications have to be considered, such as resources, shared resources. We have standards. Talking about standards is that serverless computing is covered by the International Data Center Authority and in their framework. But however, the part related to the portability of can be an issue when moving the business logic from one public cloud to another, or for which the Docker solution was created. Talking about the vendor lock-in, serverless computers computing is provided as a third-party service. So application and software that are working in this environment by default are locked to a specific cloud vendor, which causes the migration issues. Now let me welcome my friend, my fella, to talk about blockchain in particular. Let's welcome Davis. Davis.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, blockchain as one of the emerging trends. This is just a technology that enables the distribution of public ledgers that hold immutable data in the source and encryption to ensure that transactions can never be altered. So while blockchain and other cryptocurrencies are the most popular examples of blockchain usage, you have data storage, financial transactions, real estate, estate management, and many more. We're going to see that blockchain technology is an open distributed ledger that can keep record of transactions and two parties securely and efficiently. So a blockchain decentralized and distributed, often publicly through the digital ledger consisting of records called blocks, so that any involved block cannot be altered without the alteration of subsequent blocks. Yeah, this chain technology enables distribution. Mugende kweddako. Ambuzi agenda kweddako. We are trying to see that these blocks hold what we call batches of valid transactions that yeah, a blockchain has absolutely no access restriction.
Okay, Davis, are you facing any challenge there? I see off. Okay, as Davis is off, we can just continue from there. Davis was talking about blockchain in particular. When it comes to blockchain, let's count the data from the start. This technology enables disputed public ledgers that hold immutable data in a secure and encrypted way to ensure that transactions can never be altered. An example of this, we normally use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum are the most popular ones. Example of the blockchain. So blockchain technology is an open distributed ledger that can record transactions of two parties securely and efficiently. And a blockchain is a decentralized distributed and often sometimes public digital ledger consisting of records called blocks that is used to record transactions across many computers so that any involved block, any involved party cannot be altered retroactively without the alteration of all subsequent blocks. Going on, blocks are called hold batches of data, batches of all transactions that are hashed and encoded into hash tree. That's what you can use. Each block includes a cryptographic hash of the block in the blockchain, linking the two. And the linked blocks form a chain. That's how it comes to be called the blockchain. This iterative process confirms the integrity of previous block all the way back to the original Genesis block. And the block time in the blockchain is the average time it takes for the network to generate one extra block in the blockchain. We also what we call a hard fork. Hard fork is a rule change such that software validating according to the old rules. We see the blocks produced according to the new rules as invalid. And in this case, in case of a hard fork, all nodes meant to work in accordance with the new rules need to abrogate their softwares. So in blockchain, you have different types. Blockchain as it is has different types, and major has four. One is a public blockchain. This has absolutely no access because it's public, as you can hear, has no access restrictions. We have a private blockchain. This is permission. You need permission to access something. One cannot join it unless you're invited by a network administrator. The hybrid has combination of centralized and decentralized features. The extract working of the chain can vary based on which portion of decentralized or decentralizations are used. We have what we call side chain. This is a designation for a blockchain ledger that runs in a parallel to a primary blockchain. Entries of the primary blockchain can be linked to or from the side chain. This allows the sidechain or otherwise operate independently of the primary blockchain. A blockchain as it is has many applications as we have seen yet, where it is applied. We have cryptocurrencies. Most cryptocurrencies use blockchain technology to record transactions. We have seen Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other stuff. We have smart contracts. This is where these people, two parties involved in a contract, do not necessarily need to meet. You just do you contract the payments or the stuff done there. We have the financial services. Major portions of financial industry are implementing distributed ledger for use in banking and other stuff, as you have seen. We have video games. Video games, we have blockchain game. Illustrated the crypto kitties. Illustrated scalability problems for games on Ethereum, which create a significant congestion on Ethereum network with about 30% of all Ethereum transactions being on for the game. We have energy trading. Blockchain is used there. Have seen in mining and other stuff. The supply chain. People track their things. People track their things from, let's say, a person in Uganda will use blockchain to track his other things. Either you have purchased things outside, you have to use this blockchain to track them up to where they're going. We have the domain names. The domain names are another use of blockchain that are used on the rise. Unlike regular domain names, blockchain domain names are entirely an asset of the domain owner. It has limitations too. Blockchain has limitations itself. We have complexity. As blockchain technology is very sophisticated, it's associated with tremendous complexity and an array of high specialized terms. As you can see, we have cryptography. So the terms are very complicated. We have network growth. Blockchain network is a network of users. As a network of users, vast and constantly growing, which facilitates a stronger response to these attacks. They are calling attackers because it is growing faster. We have the risk of error. The risk of error we have a risk of error. There is always a risk of error occurring as long as human factor is involved in everything. As you know, humans are made of mistakes. We have security fraud. Bitcoin as well other blockchains are associated with considerable security fraud. It's always there. It's a must. Continuing with that, I have the transaction costs and network speed. Since as it is growing blockchain, now it is attracting many people. Now it is making these people who are using it to come to this rising transaction costs in the network, and many people are working on it That means the network speed will start to reduce. Coming to politics, blockchain protocols disrupt many of the systems in which our banks and other governments have created over the very long period of time. And in this result, blockchain is increasing adoption. Many politicians have felt obligated to take a stand to the fuel or smoother the new technology within the jurisdictions. We have high energy consumption. Coming to high energy consumption, uh, we know that energy consumption remains one of the biggest issues. Researchers in the University of Kenya have estimated that Bitcoin consumes more energy in cities than anything. Now let me welcome my friend Primrose, take us through robotics as an emerging trend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amza. We are looking at robotics as an emerging trend. As we hear the word robotic, it means the robots that have emerged in mostly those developed countries. People have come up with the idea of creating robotics, and these robots have come to supplement the machines, to supplement the people's work. Instead of people doing the work manually, it is now the machines that are taking some of the tasks. Robotics is the interaction of science, engineering, and technology that produces machines, which machines are called the robots, that come and substitute the human actions, as I have explained before. A robot can be a typical one, whereby it can be movable, like a physical structure that moves and goes on and does different things like people, and yet it is a machine. For example, we've heard of robots that go ahead and fight in armies. We've seen films where with the robots, instead of putting their people, they go ahead and fight and attack the enemies. Instead of sending their people, they send these robots. A typical robot has a movable physical structure, a motor of some sort, and a sensor system, a power supply, and a computer brain. This brain controls all these elements inside this machine, this robot, and it is essential in the robots. And these robots are man-made visions. They can also be animals. People have come up with making animals as robots. We've seen there are robots that we've heard of, robots that work in house maintenance. They do all the housework for the people, and then the people rest. So this is about robotics. I don't want to talk much on robots. Robotics technology influences every aspect of work at home. Robotics has a potential and possibility to transform lives and work practices, raise efficiency and safety levels, and provide enhanced levels of service. These robots don't get tired. You just click, you just switch on, and it does. You just command it maybe by a switch or a click, and it does all the work that is supposed to be done as specified. I continue. As we continue with the robotics, there are they are generally They are generally, we have characteristics of robots. All robots consist of some sort of mechanical construction to help complete the tasks. The robots also need electrical components. They are electrically made. They also contain some level of computer programming. They are programmed and assigned to carry out different tasks. You just put the program into the robot, and then the code tells it what to do. The code that is programmed in it, it tells it what to do. A robot would just be another piece of simple machinery, just like any other machines. Robots can be animals, can be people, can be puppets. Different things are made as robots. Generally, there are 5 types of robots. We have the pre-programmed robots. These operate in controlled environments where they do simple monotonous tasks. They do simple tasks, mechanical tasks, whereby they are armed on automotive assembly lines. They assemble in those simple ways, and then they carry out their tasks that they are assigned to. We also have the humanoid robots. These are, they look like human, they look like people, and they behave like people. There's a robot that was made that we saw that is a human being, and it looks like a person. It talks, it laughs, it does all those sorts of things like a human being. So that is an example of that. And the example is hands-on robotics. This robot, I really saw this one, and it was named Sophia. And I have a girl called Sophia, and she was like, this robot is called Sophia, they gave it my name. So this is a real thing that was made as an emerging trend. There's also autonomous robots. These operate independently on human operators. These robots are usually designed to carry out tasks on open environments that do not require human supervision. They are supervised on their own. They are automatic. That's why they are called autonomous. They do things automatically as they are programmed. This can be, there is an example of Roomba vacuum cleaner. It cleans the vacuum and uses sensors to roam throughout the home freely. So it uses the sensors and senses, there is water here, I need to clean. There is this, everything, it uses the sensors. There is the tele-operated robots. These are mechanical robots controlled by humans, and these work in extreme geographical conditions, in the weather conditions, in the weather circumstances, and in different kinds of weather, they carry out their tasks, and they are controlled by submarines. They also, these submarines can also work on water, so they are controlled and programmed to work in such weather conditions, in such weather circumstances. We also have another example of drones. These can detect the land mines and at the battlefield. These ones are the ones that I talked of that can be programmed to fight enemies. We also have, in the army, we also have the augmenting robots. They enhance current human capabilities and replace the capabilities of human at any level. Maybe human may have, maybe what the human would have done, the robot comes in and does that. We also have the manufacturing, and then we have the robots application. How do we make applications for robots? We go to the manufacturers. There's manufacturing. It's where the industry, it's where the industry is found, where we have the robotics application. And that first example, the first step is the manufacturers. You go to the manufacturers and order for the robotic application, and you get the robot.
Let me explain to you this. No, you have.
The human industry is probably the oldest, yes, it is probably the oldest form where they go and go on, most well known as the manufacturing, where the user is the robots. They use the robots to manufacture these, they use the robots to manufacture these materials that are needed in the robotics application. These robots and the co-robots, the bots that work alongside with humans. They work alongside with humans to manufacture different products. For example, the cars, the motorbikes, fridges, different machinery can be manufactured in the robotics application. We also have this robotics continued. We have the logistics. With the logistics, we go ahead and have the shipping. We have the shipping companies. This handle and control robots that are becoming foremost retailers and logistic companies. We also have the home. This one brings affliction on anyone. Robots can be seen all over homes, helping with all the chores, or reminding us of our schedules. A robot tells you are supposed to give the kid milk. A robot tells you are supposed to go and sleep. A robot tells you this has to be clean. So for example, we have the autonomous vacuum cleaner, that one that I talked of, that is called the Roomba robot. We also have the travel robots. These ones help in traveling. They help travelers. Like, it's anything it is like, is there anything more science application like the autonomous vehicles? These vehicles, they are self-driven. People can use remotes wherever they are, and then these vehicles go ahead and move to different places without causing any accident. So they are travel robots. A combination of data science and robots, of driving, they are the vehicles taking the world by the storm. The automakers like the Tesla, the Ford, the Waymo, and so on. All those are kinds of travel robots. We also have the healthcare. These ones help in health. They are specifically programmed to give support in the healthcare. Maybe in hospitals, they help they assist in surgeries. They assist in surgeries, and they recover the physical injury or the physical therapy. We also have advantages of robots in the workplace. What are the advantages of these robots? Robots are safe. There is safety. It is a very good advantage in utilizing robots. Someone cannot be injured because the robot is the one doing the work. So there is safety. There will be the delegated task to the robot will not harm the robot. It will not harm the person, but the robot will do its work perfectly. For example, the surgeon will not be cut or pierced by any syringes in a therapy, in an operation theater, because the robot is the one also there
doing the work for this. Maybe it can also be, there is also speed in robots. Robots do their work quickly. Since they are assigned to do their work and timed, they do their work quickly. We also have consistency. Robots are consistent in their doing of their work. They consistently perform their tasks in a sensitive manner. We also have the perfection. They are perfect. Robots are ever perfect. They can never make mistakes as long as they are tasked well and programmed well. We also have the hyper employees, the happier employees. Of course, employees are never too much tasked because robots are assigned to do their work. We also have job creation. Robots don't take jobs away, they just come in to assist where need be. So they merely change the jobs that exist and need people to monitor and supervise them. So the more robots we need, the more people we will need to build those robots and supervise them effectively. We also have productivity. While using robots, the productivity goes high. Products can be produced quickly and effectively since there is a mechanical kind of production availed in the system. We also have robots' disadvantages. Much as each and everything in the world has the advantages and disadvantages, we also have their disadvantages. Loss of jobs. Yeah, some people have lost jobs because their jobs have been taken on. Human jobs have been taken on by robots, and these robots can work 24 hours, of which a person cannot work 24 hours. We also have the need constant power. The robots are expensive, they need constant power. Where there is no power, a robot cannot work. Robots need endless electricity at all times. So it makes it expensive for the people hiring these robots or using these robots in different places. So this can even cause to loss of lives. Maybe in a theater when they are operating on someone and power goes off, the robot will not manage to control this. So there will be loss. We also have restricted programming. It is restricted to programming. Obviously, it is programmed to do something. So when there is no program in it, it will not be able to know what artificially it is supposed to be doing. So the machine will fail, and this through artificial intelligence and machine learning, robots are made and given specific tasks. So once the program is cut down, it will not function well. Thank you so much. We still go on to the performance. They perform relatively few tasks. Since they are assigned and programmed, they come into their own industry, research, medical practices, and they work in military, outside those domains, though they have minimal practical usage. Just like it is similar, in a similar way, robots are only suited as of now. Lack of emotions. Of course, robots can't have any emotions. They don't feel anything. They are not like people. They don't have that sense of feeling. There is also, they require expertise to set them up. When someone is not an expert, you can't set up a robot. And the other thing is they are costly. Of course, robots cannot be afforded by everyone. They are so expensive. Robots also pose potential physical danger from malfunctions. It is uncommon for humans to work close proximately with robots. A person working with a machine, it is really dangerous at a time. It might take over the whole world. Robots can become a danger taking over the whole world and killing off all the humans if their program is distorted. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Primrose. We're going to go through the quantum computing. This is an area of computing focused on developing computer technology based on the principles of quantum theory, which explains the behavior of energy and material on the atomic and subatomic levels. We're not going to go through much of this, but as we know that as a result of quantum computers leverage entanglement and superpositions to solve previous impossible computation problems. Quantum computers will disrupt computer techniques and solve previously unapproachable problems, creating viable solutions to the industry. We shall have Odong Jasper to take us through the potential applications and the challenges affecting quantum computing. Odong Jasper, you can control from there. Odong, are you there?
I'm there, Amza.
Yeah, continue from there, bro.
Thank you.